It's Saturday evening, just about 5:10, just about when I thought I'd be coming on. And I got YouTube up in front of me, as well as having you guys live here in front of me as well, just because I saw that my friend Rob Robotics just posted a workout, and I want to make sure that I check it out either tonight before I go to bed or um, in the morning, as I always enjoy Rob's workouts. If you're not familiar with Rob, definitely check him out. It's really good information. He's entertaining, and my cat's here saying hi. Entertaining, and it's old school fitness. Body weight, cables, bands, um, crushers, really good stuff. Uh, Crusher was, I don't remember if that was my one, the bull worker. You guys are too young to remember bull workers. Rob remembers a bull worker. He still works with one. And I don't remember if that was my first workout. I think it might have been my second. What I started with, going to the YMCA, local YMCA, that I was worked out and worked for much of the early first half of my life, actually. Took swimming classes there. Man, I love the YMCA. But the athletic director there, or the director of the YMCA, befriended me and would actually took me camping. We went hiking with some other friends and had me doing some body weight training at an early age. The traditional, the toe touches, jumping jacks, push-ups, and then we went trail running. What a great introduction to fitness when I needed it, because you're at that age. I would have been 11 or so. You're at that age when um, you're not outside playing quite as big. So we were always playing sports out front, but I think that um, the playing might slow down a little bit as you think you're growing up, and so it was great to be introduced into that fitness lifestyle at an early age, and it stuck. And then my brother got a bull worker for Christmas, and I had to have one, um, and I started working out with that, and so it began, and has been that way my entire life. A few short breaks. When I was living on a farm in Pennsylvania, I didn't train at all. I didn't need to. I was baling hay, working on a mule farm, which planted the seed of later becoming vegan in my life. And um, lots of hiking, lots of swimming, lots of horseback riding. So, hey, when you're living on a farm in the mountains, that's an exercise program in and of itself. I'm not saying you can't supplement it with training, but there was less need. Plus, I was 15 years old, 15, 16. So it didn't even occur to me to do any training. When I left to go up there, I was pretty heavy. It was about 180 some pounds. I was training for bodybuilding, and at 16. And when I came home, I weighed about 130 pounds. It is what it is. My friend Lewis is here. How are you? I went on the Jay's channel earlier this morning to cheer him on, since I knew he was missing his workout partner. I was talking about my early introduction into the fitness world, because I saw that Robotics. Lewis, do you follow Robotics on YouTube? Lewis says, caught you live right on time. I'm coming back from the desert. Sounds like fun. So it was a trip out to the desert that broke up the shirtless Saturday connection. You know, there could always be a shirtless Sunday. Lewis says, after my accident, I didn't think I was going to like it, but I did. You know, the things you love, they stay with you. Might feel a little different at first, but that deep instinct, that, you know, the thing that pulls you in, that remains. I'm always curious to see who is going to show up on a Saturday night. Back in the day, Saturday night, this would still be too early for me, but you are, I wouldn't even get started until 9 o'clock or so. And then I would be in the bars until 2 o'clock. And as I was friends with the bartenders and the owner of the bars that I went to, I'd get to hang out after hours and we would drink for several more hours. And amazingly enough, I never missed a workout, no matter how much I had to drink the night before. I called in sick for work. I built on my relationships. I made every other mistake in the world when I was drinking, but I never missed a workout. Lewis says, you're right about that, Eric. You know what? Because it's deeper than a memory. It's just it literally those kind of things, especially man being out in the desert, almost regardless of what you're doing, uh, becomes really part of your heart, part of your soul. Lewis says, "Nice, Eric." Yeah, although I can't help but think I had my commitments a little messed up, a little screwed up. Took me a long time to figure that out. Amazingly, I drank all through the 90s and I was still doing yoga, I was still meditating, other stuff as well, but nothing registered. I've told the story before how, what a mess I made of my life. And then one night, having that clear impression, almost a voice saying, if you never want to drink again, you don't have to. Something shifted that moment, and I never drank again. Honestly, it was like I went from being someone who drank to a completely different person, someone who didn't drink. And I even tried going back into bars to think, well, if I'm not going to drink, I could still hang out and have that social aspect. But I didn't belong there. I was a completely reborn as a different person. And I still didn't miss a workout. So at least I had that part of my priorities right. So what'd you do in the desert? Did you hop on your quad again? I've actually never been on one of those. I've been on dirt bikes. Honestly, I never enjoyed uh, dirt bikes. I never enjoyed fast cars. Always been sort of a slower pace type of person. So, yeah, I know I've told that story of how I quit drinking quite a few times, but I always think it's important to share how we get to where we are, the things that shaped us. Pretty important. Oh, so, you know what? I was going to do some blog reading, and I totally forgot. Let's pull up the blog. I click on 2023. And I've been reading from April of last year. Nothing in particular. Whatever catches my attention. I read about oatmeal the other day. Using oatmeal sort of as a metaphor for gratitude. Let's see. I'm going to be honest with you. If I try to pronounce your name, I'm going to mispronounce your name. And I apologize for that. Aptip? Aptip? I'm going to try the first name. I won't try the second name. I think that's a T. For one, I always have a hard time seeing the screen. And then for two, even if I could see it, I'm almost positive I'd mispronounce it. I believe it's AP, App, TYP, Aptip. Again, I apologize, my friend, but I appreciate you being here. Sorry for the silence. I'm actually also using that part of our live stream. Not purposely so, but when it falls in there naturally, to not attempt to always fill it up with things. So, I wrote this last year on this day, and it is entitled Of Being. And we'll read it now, see how it goes. So I'm struck once again with how easy life is for me. Of course, not the often complicated acts of my daily affairs, but the ease in simply existing, of being an aspect of life that spontaneously appears from the force of particles gathering as atoms and continues on in supply of an entire world for me to live. There wasn't a single thing for me to do here, no effort given, not even a thought for my appearance to form. It all just happened on its own, a true miracle of being. Remembering this seems to put me immediately at ease, that the true fundamentals are ultimately cared for by a deeper wisdom, that my body responds to some inner command of breath and heartbeat, blood flowing exactly where it needs to be, and that even the environment supports me with an abundance of air and the proper distance from the sun for plants to grow and provide my daily need of food. I am truly cared for, supported with all I need to thrive as an aspect of life itself. And I try and take none of this for granted. I am grateful to my core and do my best to show this in some way, offering a thankful prayer for the breakfast I prepare, appreciating the ease of which which my body performs a difficult yoga posture, noting the breath arriving through the grace of air. None of this is taken for granted. Not the simple things nor the difficulties too. Actions that take more effort or fill me with concern. I am grateful to exist, to be aware that this is so, and that all of life, every aspect, has been gifted to me somehow. Yes, a true miracle of being, life itself happening completely on its own, a gift. So for me, honestly, that has been the cumulative effect of yoga, leading me to, uh, honestly, a life of gratitude. As I mentioned at the beginning, so I'm struck once again with how easy life is for me. Of course, not the often complicated acts of my daily affairs, but the ease in simply existing, of being an aspect of life that spontaneously appears from the force of particles gathering as atoms, and continues on its supply of an entire world for me to live. There wasn't a single thing for me to do here, no effort given, not a thought for my appearance to form. It all just happened on its own, a true miracle of being. We can call that the grace of God. We're given an entire universe, not only for us to exist in, but as our existence itself. We were given a world so perfect for us to be alive. Can you imagine if, let's do some Googling as I read through that. Can you imagine if the sun, we actually don't have to imagine, if the sun was just a fraction closer, our life, our planet, inhospitable. We couldn't live here. Just a fraction closer. So we're going to get all scientific here. So the average global temperature would increase about 0.1 degrees Celsius or 0.18 degrees Fahrenheit. This may seem like a small change, but it could have significant impact on Earth's climate patterns, the tilt of the Earth axis, and the main cause of the seasons. So yeah, it's amazing to consider. The Earth a little bit closer to the sun, it might be impossible for life to be. The Earth a little bit farther away from the sun, the pull of the moon, the gravity existing, was different. What would happen to the tides? Everything is just so precisely balanced. I think in cosmology, they call it the fine-tuning of the universe, and the jury is still out whether or not the universe is fine-tuned for existence. But how could it not be? All of it. Think of our internal body temperature and how it's maintained. Homeostasis? Homeostasis. I'm going to keep mispronouncing it the more I try to pronounce it. And then as I continue, remembering this seems to put me immediately at ease, that the true fundamentals are ultimately cared for by a deeper wisdom, that my body responds to some inner command of breath and heartbeat. blood flowing exactly where it's needed, and that even the environment supports me with an abundance of air and proper distance from the sun for plants to go and provide my daily need of food. I am truly cared for, supported with all that I need to thrive in an aspect of life itself. We don't have to search for air. We just draw it in easily, naturally. Our heart beats completely on its own. True, there are some misfortunes. People without a heart that beats as easily as ours do, or some of ours do. But even then, with a case of something like that, we have means of supporting that. We have geniuses in the medical field who can take care of that. They can make life livable, beyond bearable. They can thrive. People with heart conditions, with lung conditions, people with all kinds of medical issues can now thrive. Absolutely amazing how life works for us. When you can, excuse me, guys, when you can cultivate that, then even the difficulties become somewhat of a gift. Because guess what? You can experience them. What's the alternative? Not experiencing. And not experiencing is not being of this world any longer. Being whatever our concept of death is. So, as I finish here, and I say, and I take none of this for granted. I am grateful to my core and do my best to show this in some way, offering a thankful prayer for the breakfast I prepare, appreciating the ease of which my body performs a difficult yoga posture, noting the breath arriving through the grace of air. None of this is taken for granted. Not the simple things nor the difficulties too. Actions that take more effort or fill me with concern. I am grateful to exist, to be aware that this is so, and that all of life, every aspect, has been gifted to me somehow. A true miracle of being, life itself, happening completely on its own, a gift. And life truly is a gift. Even the difficulties, I would say it is just, it's a mystery, of course, not for us to understand. I read quite a bit of yogic and Buddhist philosophy, as well as other non-duality traditions, and even some, I'm a fan of the Christian mystical tradition. And some of them will put forth an answer. This is the way things are, because this is the way things are, whatever that answer might be. I don't know if any of that's true. Not a single thing. Michael Robinson is back. How are you tonight, my friend? We've had people popping in and out. Been up for about 20 minutes. Did you have a hangover this morning? Michael says, amazing. How about you? You know what? I'm doing pretty well, but I'm really happy to hear you say amazing. It's actually been the theme of the conversation. How life itself takes care of us. We have a sun perfectly aligned to be exactly where it needs to be. Oceans, the land, trees, air, working bodies. And we didn't have to do anything to achieve any of that. We came into the world and we had all these gifts right here. Never ceases to amaze me. And when you think that, you know what, none of that had to be. All of it's a gift. Things could just as easily have been different. There could have been, after the Big Bang, a different arrangement of gases, a different structure, that the universe, when it came into existence, created time and space as it needed. What if it needed space more than time? What if it needed time more than space? Everything had to be perfectly. And I was talking about, in cosmology, they call it the fine tuning of the universe. But the argument is out on whether or not the universe is fine tuned for our existence or not. But I can't think of any other way how it was fine tuned for our existence, because everything worked out perfectly for our existence. Everything worked out perfectly for Michael Robinson to be feeling amazing right now. Consider our ancestors all the way back to that first single-celled creature that crawled from the ocean. That was our infinitely dated back great, infinitely so, grandparent. And there wasn't something there to stomp on it. There wasn't something there to swoop down and eat it. Somehow it survived to go back in the ocean, have more single-celled, until eventually there was a two-celled, multiple cell, and it crawled from the ocean and learned how to thrive, and became whatever, and ever and ever, until eventually human beings are prehistoric ancestors. We literally had someone who we stem from all the way back in prehistoric days that had to survive saber-toothed tigers and woolly mammoths and all the other stuff that was there to eat them. Somehow they survived all these great odds to have children who had children who had children, and eventually here we are. And it makes me feel a little bad that I decided not to have kids. I have a wonderful stepchild, but all that stuff had to happen in order for me to get here. And then I shrugged my shoulders and said, whatever, and decided not to have kids. You should have had one just to continue the tradition going down the line. But I think when you think of the universe being fine-tuned for our existence, no matter what cosmologists might say, again, some believe this is so, others don't, you can't help but be grateful for everything. I think about the fine-tuning of my own small universe that brought me a bowl of oatmeal in the morning. And I've talked about this and read this before. Everything had to happen perfectly for that oatmeal to get on my morning counter every day. Truck drivers, the cashier, the farmers, the rain, the sun, conditions of the soil, the people who packaged it, all of it. Michael Robinson says, what do you think about dirt bikes and motorcycles? Funny, I was talking up above with It Is What It Is, my friend Lewis, about that. He had an accident on a quad a few months ago, four-wheeler. And I was asking him, we were talking about that a bit. He's recovering, almost full recovery, I think. And I've been on dirt bikes. I've been on motorcycles. I'm not really a speed person, so they don't thrill me. I was on the back of a motorcycle once, going 120 miles an hour down a highway, and few things have scared me that much. I might have been better had I been driving, but when you're on the back, you have no control. I was pretty young. Goldie says, hi there, lovely people. Goldie, thank you for being in. I appreciate that. Goldie said, in this aspect, we don't agree. Yet I agree we need to be grateful. Which part don't you agree? And it's no surprise to me that we agree to be grateful. It's just a foundational practice, I think. Michael says, Eric will be back shortly. Okay, I'll be here for a while. I'm not familiar with that word. The etymologic, probably mispronounced that. So, hey, Duncan Walsh is here. The Darwinism. I have differing views on Darwinism, actually. I like talking about it. Theoretically, sort of. Oh, and it is okay to disagree completely. I always, not just, I don't disrespect other people's opinion. That always seemed to me sort of condescending. Well, I respect your opinion, but I'm truly interested in other people's opinion, how it was formed, what sustains it, and whatever they care to share about it. And I'm open to everything. I don't hold any of my. This was a huge revelation for me in life, that all of our thoughts and beliefs and opinions are simply thoughts. Most of them we inherit it from somewhere, from books, from teachers, from clergy, from media, parents. Our friend Vincent is here. And so realizing it's just a thought, and also realizing the changing nature of the thought, changing nature of thoughts themselves, it's hard for me to invest too much energy in sustaining an overall belief system and not being able to be completely open to what anyone else brings to the conversational table. Goldie said, I just believe the Bible, but as I said, I believe we need to be grateful. Um, you know what? I use evolution sort of as a talking point just as easily, and maybe even more convincingly. I could use the Bible. I love Genesis. I love the fact that after on the seventh day of creation, that or was it sixth day, when God looked at all He created? I think it was the sixth day, and said it was all good. And I think, who are we to argue with that? If God said it's all good, who are we to say, you know what? He could have made he could have made giraffes a little less tall. He could have made apples easier to reach. He made it all good, perfect. The universe. Who am I to question that? And who am I not to be thankful for what He created? Any way life came to be, from being created in 6 days from God, to it being fine-tuned by evolutionary design from the Big Bang. However, as you and I just said that we agree, I'm just grateful that it did. And I have my father was a science teacher. I love reading about quantum physics. I love reading about cosmology. And I love different traditions of cosmology. I love the cosmology of the Bible, I love reading Genesis, how the universe came to be, and how it relates to other cosmologies. Hindu cosmology, the Hopi Native American cosmology, Buddhist cosmology. There's connections there. if we look for them. So however it came to be, um, I'm certainly glad that it has. This is our opportunity. We've been given this from the creation of the universe, or we've been given this from God to show that appreciation and to be grateful and to share it with others. Duncan says, the blue looks good. Blue frame glasses would change your whole look, maybe to even better. Ever tried colored frame glasses? I bet Mocha would love them. I haven't tried. Actually, I had a pair that had gold. These are bigger. I don't normally wear bigger glasses, but because I have them on for the computer. Normally my glasses, hold on, smaller glasses. I'm very fortunate with Mocha that she loves everything that maybe I'm taking that for granted. Maybe I'm speaking too soon. Duncan says a slight swerve on the subject matter there. It's an open conversation, my friend. I love talking about everything and anything. And I always try to tie it all together in some type of philosophical. I don't know if I like the term philosophical so much. Maybe more of a universal pattern. I try to tie it all together. Goldie says, I wear smaller glasses too. Yeah, I prefer, but like I said, I purposely picked out these to be bigger to help when I'm on the computer with the, what are the lights called? Especially before bed. And I've been doing the live sessions in the evening right up almost until I get ready to go to bed. And for sleep hygiene, it's actually better to turn off all electronic devices. Give your eyes and your mind a chance to sort of decompress before we go to bed. Gordy says, oh, happy to hear that. Mocha and I have been through it all. Everything that you can. This is why the other night or the night before, I referred to her as my soul companion. That we have been married, we've dated, we've been married, we've been divorced, and we have carried on. We have survived. We have become something undefined, but works perfectly for us. Goldie says she only needs them for reading. Goldie says I'm usually giving people watch time, so one device is playing. And I absolutely appreciate that. Not only do I appreciate that, Goldie, you've inspired me, and I've been doing that. You and Masha have inspired me. I've been doing that for not just my friends like Noble, but if Masha calls out, this person needs watch hours, I try to be on it and have them up and running on a window. It just seems an important service to be able to provide with so little effort on my part. It can help someone out, and it makes a tremendous difference. Speaking of watch hours, I broke the 2,000 mark. I'm at 2,021. I'm marching my way towards that monetization. I will get there. These live talks have been helpful for that, but more so, I take it as the art of conversation. I get to come here every night and have a conversation with amazing people, and we never know where it's going to go. I get to talk to my friend Goldie, who definitely has a different tradition, but we get to talk about it, and we get to have an intelligent conversation without one person trying to make the other wrong. You know, I don't disagree with Goldie in the least. I don't know if I 100% agree, but and there's no part of me that says Goldie is wrong because I don't know that she is. Not to mention going to uh, Catholic school through my formative years, that runs deep. You know, you can, I think you can walk away from the church, but I don't think the church ever walks away from you, if that makes sense. Duncan says, oh, before I read Duncan's comment, Duncan, do you wear glasses? Duncan says, do you have many house plants? Our house at the moment has more inside than out. Wow, we do have a few. Uh, and I have them for a reason. My brother and I are, I'm sure I mentioned this. Um, I was my father's caregiver for his final years, and then I was his caregiver, his critical caregiver in his final days. Um, this is a house that I grew up in. I inherited it. Uh, my brother and I decided, because it's a very beautiful place to live, but it's a very expensive place to live, that we would split the differences. I have everything I love right here. Mocha's close by. We see each other daily. Um, I'm surrounded by nature. But we have the houseplants in here that belong to my mother. So it for us, it's we really tend to these houseplants because it's part of my mom. Goldie says, that's sweet. Yeah, we made a commitment. We've stuck by it. More than a commitment, because sometimes you say commitment and it sounds like, well, in spite of it all, I'm staying with you. It's not in spite of it all. It's because of it all that we stay together. I'm thankful because I'm not so sure anyone else would really put up with me. um, Duncan says, really improves the feel of a room and helps the air quality. Yeah, it sure does. You know what, Duncan, I meant to ask you how your cats are doing. I'm sure they're not quite kittens anymore. Goldie says, and I need background noise, so I'm listening to audiobooks until the TV shuts down. I had Audible for a while, and I don't know why I didn't stick with it. It's a great way. When I would drive a lot, I was always listening to audiobooks, but I don't drive so much anymore. Duncan says, contacts for training, glasses for the PC. Man, I can't bring myself to wear contacts. Just even the thought of touching my eye with something. Goldie says, of course, why would we try to convince each other uh, that the other one is wrong? That's just forcing opinion upon someone. I agree. And it never ceases to amaze me. So many people do that. I get that all the time talking about yoga and talking about meditation. Someone will come up and say, that's not how I was taught yoga. That's not my yoga. Your yoga is wrong. Um, and it's just, I was taught this way. You were taught that way. Different traditions. Also, even though I've practiced this for most of my life, I always try to consider myself a beginner in all of it. I don't know everything. And a lot of the stuff that I did know, I've forgotten um, or I mispronounced. So there's always that, even if you talk about like spiritual experiences that you've had or mystical experiences, um, someone comes along and says, that's not the way it is. Almost gaslighting that, no, you didn't have that experience. So I've learned for a lot of it to either dismiss when people do that or keep things to myself quite a bit. Goldie says, "Oh, that's sweet. Your mom's houseplants." Yeah, it was. I helped with her caregiving with my father, along with my siblings, um, but mostly my father and I. She had a long battle, 10 years with Alzheimer's, and watching with amazement how my father never raised his voice, never got impatient, um, always treated her, never treated her as a patient, always his wife. So when in the final months, when um, I had to do more and more stuff for my father, the I set myself certain reminders, certain rules that he's never my patient, he's always my father. That I'm helping him. It's not a chore. It's not something that I have to do. This is my opportunity to pay the person who gave me everything in life back. Um, and above all, maintain that father son dynamic that he's my father. That although I'm helping him, I'm still the son, he's still the father, and maintain that um, respect at all times to help him keep, because he was in a very vulnerable and a very weakened state towards the end. Duncan says we have one house plant that is 15 to 20 years old. Wow, amazing. I guess ours are well over 10. Actually, we have some, might be close to 20 years, I think. Goldie says, nice, Duncan. Duncan says the cats were a lot of work. I think the kittens were a little too young. Now much better. Good. Goldie says, I listen to audiobooks on YouTube, on my TV. Hey, I never thought of that. That's a good idea. Duncan says, thanks, Goldie. And my pleasure, Duncan. Duncan said, the mother cat, however, is now rejecting the kittens as they have grown. Whacks and hisses at them. Apparently very common. She's getting better, though. Goldie says, siblings, how many? I'm second of 4. I am the youngest of 3. So I'm the third. I have an oldest sister who is 4 plus, almost 5 years older than me. I have an older brother that I'm living with. He's 2 years older than me. We've sort of grown up close together, but never close, if that makes sense. Um, you know, we adopted. Mocha brought him over. Mocha was at a shelter, and the lady at the shelter was talking about 2 cats, 2 black cats. They were 10 years old. They were sisters. Um, and she was afraid that either nobody would want them, because a lot of people don't want black cats, or that someone might just take one and not the other, and that they were bonded, having spent, sisters 10 years together. And when I heard that, I told Mocha, well, I gotta have them then. I don't want these cats broken up. So I got them. We brought them home. Cats have nothing to do with each other, or when they do run at each other, like Duncan said, they hiss and swat. I'm thinking, well, maybe they are like regular siblings. Let's see. Goldie says, yes, Duncan. It's their way of teaching them how to do life. Makes sense. Goldie says, nice. And yes, Goldie, brother and sister kittens. My sister is 2.5 years older than me. Then two younger brothers, one 5 years younger than me, and the youngest is 14 years younger than me. Are you all in the same area? I'm taking my melatonin with ashwagandha. Ashwagandha. Duncan says the brother and sister play well together. Cats are a complete mystery. Always have been. We've always had cats. Everyone has been completely different. Duncan says, have you heard of social vacillation? Am I saying that right? Um, in training? I haven't. So, Goldie, I'm going to backtrack just a little bit because I was talking about some cosmologists say that the universe is fine tuned for existence, and others say that it's all by accident. And I think that for me, everything is fine tuned. And I can't help but think that there is a greater intelligence, God, that has fine tuned it for our existence. How can you have a home, and the universe is our home, and not have it be fine tuned for our existence? That's like me living here and saying, well, this doesn't fit me. That it's not, I can't breathe the air in this house. I got to be in another house. Absolutely amazing. Duncan says basically a psychological trait whereby if you think someone is watching, you try harder. Huh. So the YouTube effect. Um, do you notice that in your session? Um, Actually, in my workout session or in my live sessions? Because, in my live sessions, I have almost the same exact conversation, whether people show up or not. I found in my training sessions, no, I don't think so. I think I basically have a clear intent of what I'm going to do, and I stick with that regardless. I did a live burpee session for the first time ever this week, and I actually didn't enjoy it that much. Goldie says, nope, my sister lives in Germany. The brother after me in my hometown, 45-minute drive for me. And my Varus Younger is in Holland. Well, that's pretty spread out. I don't remember if it was uh, Sigmund Freud or Carl Jung who talked about the breakup of the family unit, that, it's a modern phenomenon, that he wondered about the telephone, that it was great that he could pick up the phone and have a conversation with his daughter who lived however many towns away, a day's drive away. And at the same time, he wondered, though, would they have moved if they didn't have that convenience? What was it about technology that drew people farther apart? Gordy says, I don't believe in accidents. I believe that everything was created. Probably more so than anything, I fall on that camp as well. Duncan said, in your workouts, that you try harder if you're aware that people are watching. No, I don't don't think I do, actually. However, in my racing days, if someone was going to pass me, I would look over to see if they were in my age group. If they were younger than me or older, and that might determine my effort. I still had that little streak of being competitive. If someone's older than me, if they're in my age group, I'm definitely not going to let them get by. If they're older, I don't mind being beaten by someone older. If they're younger, I might try as hard as I can to stay ahead of them. That was a number of years ago, though. Goldie says, yes, it is, but we all ran as fast as we could. Huh. Michael Robinson is back. I'm back. Lost power for a minute. Welcome back. Duncan said, do you believe in luck? I don't know. I believe in synchronistic events that things morph. One moment doesn't end for another to begin. One moment simply morphs into another moment. So, we could consider it a karmic effect. That karma is too often viewed in the Western world as being um, revenge or retribution or judgment or justice, good or bad. But karma simply means motion. Life's happening, carrying on. And of course, how we interact within that structure of life gives cause for how the next moment's going to be. Cause and effect in a way, but it's more like everything's a cause and everything's an effect. Everything is causing something, and every effect is the cause of something else. So life is just moving. So when conditions are right, when the karmic effects are in order, we have luck. And when they're not, I don't want to say bad luck, we wait it out. Life continues. Life's always in motion. So some moments it feels like luck, other moments it feels like not. Goldie says, remember I hinted that we didn't have a great upbringing. I do remember. So I understand when you said we all ran different directions. Do you, if you don't mind me asking, do you stay in contact with them? Goldie says, no gun, Duncan, I don't believe in luck. I believe that I'm spoiled by God, especially if I win something. Spoiled by God is a nice expression. I like that. And Goldie says, yes, we do. Good. I'm glad to hear that. I have mixed relations with my siblings. My brother and sister get along better with each other than um, everyone gets along with me. No, no issues. You know, not that we don't. I'm definitely more of a loner and solitary. Duncan said, could luck just be a calculation of odds? If something happens against the odds, we say it was luck. You know what? I think it's all just different ways of looking at things. For me, you start seeing the spontaneity of life itself. How life is just spontaneous events happening, happening, happening. Um, so I'm not sure if I agree with odds, especially when you think of the odds. If we're talking scientifically, astronomically, the odds of the universe happening at all. I actually wrote about that. It's an outlandish number. Um, and also, I wrote about Boltzmann brain. Ludwig Boltzmann was a mathematician who calculated that it's just as likely that um, we exist as figments of imagination in someone's mind, a Boltzmann mind, as anything else by the odds. So yeah, it's sort of hard to place too much stock in odds, I think. Duncan says successful people, however, will often say they were lucky. They also say something like, I created my own luck. We create our own luck, which I don't necessarily agree with either. Michael says, losing power. Sorry about that. Duncan said a famous golfer once said, the more I practice, the luckier I got. That I can get behind. Here's the thing for me. The more I meditate, the luckier I feel. The more life flows for my benefit. The more I'm going to borrow Goldie's message or Goldie's saying above. The more I meditate, the more I feel spoiled by God. Michael says, if I don't talk for a little, no power, okay? Um, got it. Understood, Michael. Hopefully you won't lose power. Goldie says, I'm the one calling them up on their birthdays. My sister always calls me on mine. The brother after me is invited to my daughter's high school graduation. I can't expect the other two to travel so far. I can see that. And by the way, congratulations to your daughter on her upcoming. I know it's still a month or so away. Golden says, okay, Michael. So I will always give you credit, Goldie, but I will be using that line, spoiled by God, quite a bit in upcoming conversations. If you don't mind me borrowing it and giving you credit, of course. Duncan said, any thoughts on the back extension machine? Well, I had put it out there as a possible upcoming birthday gift, 2 weeks. However, I already got my birthday gift. I got it early from Milka, and it's a Canon one-shot camera. It's a zoom lens, handheld. You just look through it and you press a button, and it starts to film, and you press another button, and it zooms in. It's exactly what I need because technology does not work in my hands, and this is perfect. So, and I gather I don't know how much it cost, but I can only imagine it was fairly pricey. So I don't think that's going to come my way, at least not present. But when I have the money, it is something that I'd like to invest in for myself, especially now that my back is feeling better. Um, and I suspect maybe in a month or so, it might be back up to 100%. That it would be something I'd like to have for maintenance work to keep it feeling good, which is just as important as rehab. You definitely don't want to go through this long, um, this long of that much pain again. I don't mind the little tweaks here and there that I can work through, but this has been several months. Goldie says 8th of June. So 2 more months. She's not head of class, but I told her that she'll get punished if she's going to be a straight A student. I was most certainly not a straight A student. I did well in some classes. It is what it is back. Hey, Eric, I'm back. Lost reception, going through the mountains. Understandable. Goldie's head. She said that's not fair, Mom. What was your reply to that? Duncan says, fantastic for super high quality photos. Can't do back extensions on it though. No, we can't. That's a good price. The one that you sent. So I should be able to afford that in a month or so. Duncan said, fantastic present though. Yeah, all of my recent nature shorts have been done with that. And I'm still, there's some shakiness at first, not from the camera because the camera has a stabilizing quality, but by pinpointing what it is that I'm seeking to film. I've mentioned before, I've absolutely fallen in love with doing YouTube shorts. I've likened it to a visual haiku. You have 30 seconds to a minute to have the story of whatever it is you're filming open up and show you that you get to participate, to be a participant in this wonderful moment. Absolutely love it. And it's changed the nature of my walks and my runs. You always have this certain awareness when you're out there, but this sharpens the attention because you don't want to miss anything. From today, I put in the squirrel eating a nut on a branch. Something, I might have walked by that or run by it dozens of times in any single run. But when you want to present that beauty of nature, it leaps out at you. That something as simple as a squirrel becomes, an amazing topic that you want to share with other people. Today, we caught another owl in daylight, which is they're always amazing to see. And yesterday there was 2 hawks who were feeding on a branch. They caught something, and I hope it wasn't a squirrel. They fully, accept the cycle of life, but that doesn't mean that I'm not protective of the things that I see. I want the hawks to eat. I also want the squirrels to live. It's the paradox of life, and I'm caught in the middle. And I'm very protective of my neighborhood ducks. Ducks just seem so vulnerable. Not geese. Nobody messes with a goose. Let's see. Goldie says, she's not either, but she's an amazing young lady, grounded and hardworking. Those are great qualities. More important than being a straight A student. Duncan says, hey, mister, it is what it is. And hey, Duncan. Hey, it's been a while since we've had Duncan and Lewis in here together. I'm trying to think how long it's been. I know it wasn't that long. Well, I guess it was a little while ago, a few months ago. It was before Lewis's layoff. We had a bit of a workout challenge going back and forth. Rob's RC Cars. Hey there, Eric. You okay, buddy? I am, my friend. Thank you for asking. I appreciate you being here. We are talking about all kinds of stuff, cosmology, um, deeper aspects of life, burpees, back extensions, photography, nature, straight A students, siblings, cats. Have I missed anything, guys? Goldie says, my answer was that I didn't say you won't like the punishment. It's a good answer. Goldie is saying hi to Rob. And hey to Goldie. Duncan says you can get a gimbal, which acts as a holdable tripod, which will stabilize the camera. Is it battery powered? It is battery powered. But it's like it's almost like a small handgun. It's actually one of my all-time favorite presents. Lewis says, Duncan, are you talking about one of those machines where you hang upside down? For the back extension, this is more you hooked in and you bend. It's like a reverse sit-up, like a reverse straight-legged sit-up. Lewis says, yeah, when me and Duncan are on the same platform together, it's like throwing gasoline on fire. You both have the same work ethics, different styles. Same intensity, different styles of displaying it. What was interesting back then was that because you guys have different training styles as well, so to each one of you had to step outside of your comfort zone to do the other one's workout, and that was fun. That was fun to watch. Oh, Duncan says houseplants. Yes, we talked about houseplants. Man, this was a wide-ranging conversation. I really have enjoyed everything that we've talked about. Goldie says, and speaking of my expression, please feel free to use it. It's not a Goldie original. I read it in the book. It stayed with you though, so it's meaningful. Duncan said, Eric explained. I did my best to explain some things. Duncan said, okay, I got one of those things. And Lewis says, hopefully you will get back to full fitness soon, Lewis. Oh, and Duncan says, and glasses, blue ones. We did talk about glasses. We talked about actually all kinds of glasses. We talked about little glasses. We talked about contact lenses and cameras. Oh, and earlier with Michael Robinson, he asked me about my opinion of motorcycles and something else, which I had to say, I'm not a big motorcycle person. Gordy says, yes, because I've seen God spoiling me. It's an amazing experience. It's an amazing experience to know that we're cared for. Whatever tradition best suits us, knowing that Um, we don't live in an impersonal universe that we belong so deeply. Lewis says, appreciate that. Duncan, I'm going for the Holy Grail next weekend. It's going to be a big week, big weekend. Goldie says, my only vacation was a vacation I won to Malta back in 2008. Wow. It's been quite some time since I've had any vacation. It used to be my vacation was going away for a race. Duncan said, shot caller, 1,000 burpees is the answer. Goldie says, a month before I won that trip, I was talking with a friend, and this is a sentence I spoke. There is power in our statements, that's for sure. Goldie says, continue, if I ever go somewhere in this life, I would love to go to Malta. And from your lips. Amazing. Lewis says, with one pumps. Duncan says, good luck, my friend. You will nail it, I'm sure. Oh, yeah, without a doubt. He'll have the proper soundtrack on. And he'll bring the usual it is what it is intensity, and he'll sail through it. Goldie says, yes, I'm spoiled. And you know what? I think well deserved spoiled, because you definitely put out a caring energy. You definitely put out a lot of love, 100% respect, openness. The luck that you were given, being spoiled by God, is because of the service, I believe. The service that you've given, service that you've given to God. Duncan says, Goldie, make a plan and do it. Well, she did it. She got it. She won it. 2008. She just had to speak it. Goldie says, I did. A month after that statement, I won the trip. 3 months later, I was there. Duncan says, great. How was it? You don't know much about Malta. So, Lewis, when will you be back on? Are you going to wait until next week before you start putting your workouts out again, or are you going to start filming again sometime soon? Goldie says, not really. Broken vessel, letting the love of God flow through me. Remember that prophecy? I do remember the prophecy you talked about and how you've been living it. It's funny because you and I talked about Leonard Cohen, Broken Vessel. That's how the light gets in. Duncan says, is this a record for your stream length? No, I think I did a couple days ago an hour 35, not an hour 20 now. But man, I've been watching some people lately. Mayhem and Miracles, Masha, 3 to 4 hour sessions. Um, Noble, Scrolling Traveler, did a 12-hour session. I'm not sure. I don't think I'd have any trouble talking for 2+ hours or even 3 hours. I'm not sure if anyone would want to listen to me. I think I would question anyone who wanted to listen to me for that long. Lewis says, I will start filming tomorrow. Awesome. I have not stopped my burpees. Oh, yeah. I had no doubt about that whatsoever. Goldie says, Duncan pros a lot of history, English being one of their official languages. I didn't know that. Lewis says, if I were to take a week off, I wouldn't be able to do 1,000. Huh. I know some people would say that they might want to taper and take a week off. Some people did that for races. I was not. I wasn't one for tapering. I would do a little less, but I trained all the way up until the day of the race. Duncan said, do you have back support while sitting? No, I got a little cushion. That's about it. Oddly enough, when I sit in Sukhasana, which is a cross-legged, easy pose for meditation, my back feels better after sitting for meditation for 20 minutes to 30 minutes. Could be it stretches out the hip flexors and the glutes. Goldie says, Khan, it's a volcanic island, a lot of humidity. Duncan said, I rolled up towel, etc. Nope, just I got a cushion. It's a hardback chair. Cushion that I sit on, a cushion for my back. Duncan said, are you questioning our sanity? I am, but in a really appreciative way. Man, I appreciate anyone who comes here and joins me. It means a lot. It means a lot to have these conversations. I get to share my thoughts and my ideas, and I get to hear your thoughts and ideas, and we get to trade them back and forth. I've been really blessed, with very few exceptions, of not really have anyone hostile. I mentioned before I had someone came in and wanted to have a Zen off, a yoga off, my yoga versus your yoga, that my thoughts are more important than your thoughts, my experiences are more meaningful than your experiences. And for a few sessions, I sort of let him go on, and then finally he started doing it, and I had to be honest that I really don't care. I'm happy for you and your experiences and all that you've done, but and you're welcome to share them, but I don't want to debate mine against yours. I'm not interested in it. And if you want to have that debate, you're in the wrong channel, because it's just not going to happen. Duncan says, sitting for long periods of time was the worst thing I ever did for my back. Forget all about the training. Yeah, I can believe that for sure. Goldie said, but when I said history, I mean 6,000-year-old ruins. Wow, that would be fascinating. In the original Teton Knight and the Maltese Cross. Well, Duncan says, what is your PB for the 1K burpees? I'm going to guess under 2 hours. I was thinking the last time I did 500, I think was in 54 minutes or something like that. Maybe less. Maybe I might have got it down to 51. It makes me wonder if I could do that again. I'm thinking that Pelican Bay routine. Lewis says, I believe it was 2 hours and like 7 minutes with Unk Burpees yoga last year. Yeah, I remember when you guys did that. I remember that one as well. 507 5-front burpees. That's pretty amazing. Almost certain my shoulders would not stand for that type of behavior. So I'm gonna wrap things up in about 4 minutes. That will come close to tying my record, Duncan. Goldie says yes, and also Malta was ruled by Arabs, Italian, Spanish, English, and French. So an awesome mixture of culture. You know what? I don't know anything about the native people of Malta. That's interesting. Maltese people are an ethnic group native to Malta who speak Maltese. Because I think of all those people who ruled Malta, and you sort of lose sight of the indigenous people who lived there. Duncan says, have to run. See you on the flip side. Enjoy the chat, guys. I did as well. Thank you. Yep, I'm going to be taking off soon in just a minute. Let's see. Goldie says, now I made you curious. You certainly did. Lewis says, have a great day, Duncan. Yeah, because they say the current Maltese people, characterized by the use of Maltese language and Roman Catholicism, are the descendants through much mixing and hybridization of colonists from Sicily, Calabria. Very interesting. It is what it is. Says, have a great day, Eric, and chat. You as well. Lewis, careful if you're still driving. Look forward to seeing your training tomorrow. Goldie says, have an amazing day. And everyone too. So that's going to be it for tonight, I think. I'm probably going to spend the next 5 minutes before bed reading about the original people of Malta. Thanks to my friend Goldie. Absolutely love when someone makes me curious about something and gives me something to explore. One of the main gifts that I think I have in life, enthusiasm and curiosity. And I love when something sparks that and I get to go down the rabbit hole. So Goldie, thank you. Thank you for being here through the night and the amazing conversation. I enjoyed all of it. Goldie says, okay, I'll be going to sleep. I am Sue very shortly, just a few minutes actually. So thanks again. Wow, 1:37. It's early here. It's not even 7, but I go to bed early because I'm up so early. Michael Robinson, sorry you lost power. Hope to see you soon, my friend. And others who have stopped by. Duncan, it is what it is. Everyone, thank you. You guys have a very good night.